so far, this hasn't been the best week of trading. Now, don't get me wrong, it hasn't been a bad week by any means, but just not the best week. I'm currently 1 for 3. I had a nice winner to start the week on Aussie dollar, 2-target winner there, and then followed it up with a couple losses. I had a losing trade on Aussie dollar last night and had a losing trade on pound dollar earlier in the week as well. But that's not why this week has been a little bit frustrating. This week's been frustrating mainly because of the trades that I've missed. And I guess missed is the wrong word. It's a bad word. So forget I said that. I didn't miss these trades, but the trades that I did not take that I made predictions on. And two of those trades were the pound yen and the pound dollar. And both of those trades I could not involve myself in due to the risk factor, right? Meaning we all know the pound yen, aka the graveyard, aka the beast, has a very high ATR. In order to involve myself in that trade, it meant taking on a massive amount of risk, more risk than what I allowed myself to take on. We had the same thing with the pound dollar this morning, where we were actually waiting for a specific candlestick formation to happen, to occur. This trade was on the hourly chart. If you guys follow me on Twitter or Stock Twits, I shot it out there, even on Facebook. Which if you don't, you guys should. My weekly shameless plug. But we were looking at this trade right after the 9 o'clock hour, probably about 9:20ish, 9:30ish. And we did our analysis. We looked at the pullback, the structure. We identified, predicted, decided how we want to get involved. Now I just had to wait until the proper time to execute. And what I needed to involve myself in this trade was a particular pattern formation. And it looked like the market was going to give us that particular pattern formation, but because I was on the hourly time frame, I had to wait another half an hour to involve myself in the trade. Now, there were some ways we can go down to a lower time frame, but we had to wait until the candle closed on the hourly time frame to execute the trade. And this is always a very interesting spot for traders, especially traders that aren't very disciplined, because that waiting game is the worst, right? You wait and you want to get involved and you see the market pushing down, going in your predicted direction. You're like, I should be in the trade. I knew it was going to go short. Why am I not in? Why am I not in? But if you have any experience in the market, you know that the close of the candle, I'll repeat, the close of the candle, one more time, the close of the candle is very, very, very important. What happens during the rest of the time, it matters a little bit, but where the candle closes is what matters. And unfortunately, when the candle closed, we retraced so much, it closed past the level that I needed in order to have my required risk-reward ratio. And it kind of stunk, because this is something that we identified, we analyzed, we spent our time going over it. We waited, right? We waited at the bus stop for a half an hour, and then when the bus came, we just had to let it go. And to some, that may not make sense. Why would you let a good trade go? But again, that risk reward is very important, guys. The goal of professional trading, and this has kind of been the whole idea behind this trading blog, is to eliminate the myth, right? Eliminate the belief that this is some type of get-rich-quick scheme where you're treating it just like gambling, where you're going into the casino and you're there for the rush and you're pushing buttons and you're buying and selling, right? We had a trader today in the room say, hey, does this guy actually take trades in the live room? Because I've been in here for a few minutes and I haven't seen him take any. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not like the commercials or the TV. I'm not buying and selling every minute. I may execute one trade a day. And it's a patience game. It's not looking for opportunities, which has been the theme of this entire week. It's looking for the right opportunities. And one of the mistakes or the problems that a lot of traders run into is they'll see a situation like the pound dollar where it will run past the required level needed to enter the trade, and they'll start chasing the trade, right? Price action will push in their direction. And now they're like, I got to get involved. And they end up either entering late. Whenever you enter in late, you're going to reduce your reward. You're going to increase your potential risk. Or a way around that is to reduce your stops, maybe move your stops down to a level so that you can get involved in the trade. And well, that's never a good idea, because now your stops aren't really at a place where they tell you everything or anything if they get stopped out. Or maybe they'll reduce, or maybe they'll increase their targets. We talked about that as well. Instead of having their target at a certain level, right? they'll move their target down. That way they can make the risk reward fit. And you see what these traders are doing. They're making the trade fit because they want to be involved. They're not letting the market give them the opportunity. And when you do something like the latter, moving targets down, the question I always ask is, well, in your original analysis, did you make the prediction that price action was going to go to that lower level, right? Probably not, because if you did, that's where targets would be in the first place. So if you predicted that targets would, that price is more likely to go to this level right here, and I'm sorry, I don't have my computer screen share on, so I'm doing it manually. If you make the prediction that price is going to come here, right, before it could potentially reverse, yet you put targets down here, is that very smart? Why would you put targets at a level that you don't think is going to be hit? Head scratch, right? It makes no sense, but traders will do that in order to give them an out, to give them a reason to be involved in the trade. It's just another one of the gigantic list of mistakes that we see a lot of traders make, and the gigantic list of mistakes that I have made myself. I think that's one of the reasons I've become such a great educator, is because I can relate to the traders I work with. Why? Because I was in the same shoes as you guys were. I have made every trading mistake almost imaginable. So when you come to me saying, "Hey, Keel, here's what I think I'm doing," I know exactly what you're doing. In fact, one of my buddies on Twitter, Roy, just tweeted a throwback article link from my first website. I didn't even know this website was still up. My first website. I've got to go back through that website a little later today and read some of the articles, because this is when I was bad. Right? The stuff you read from me and see from me now, this is when I'm good and I have kind of a broader perspective on things and experience. The things that I was writing earlier, that's when I was bad. That's when I was in the heat of the moment. I was actually experiencing and doing these type of mistakes, the ones that I'm warning you about. So definitely going to spend some time checking that out. But again, we'll see how the week turns out, guys. I have a few trades on my radar. I've got another Aussie dollar trade on my radar today, but we have the RBNZ rate statement tonight, right after the New York close. So be very, very careful. That's a very thin time of the market, right? Big news when no one's trading equals, right? So you probably want to stay away from that event. And I've got a Euro Yen trade on, one that I shot to you guys in the syndicate last night. This one's a stinker, man. Let me just check on this. It started off pretty poorly. We're going to do something old school. I'm on my phone right now. Let's see if I can reverse this midway. Can I change this? I don't think I can change the way, nope, I can't change the way you see it. But it started off pretty poorly, then rallied in my direction, went up about, what are we doing here? Went up about, I got in about 124 even. We went up about 40 pips. I had targets up at 124.60s, and now we're kind of retracing back to about 124.17. So we'll see how this trade ends up. It could be a break-even trade. This could just be a little bit of a relief before an extension higher. We did kind of run right into that left shoulder, which is a little disturbing, but we'll see how price action goes. So 1 for 3 so far. Got one trade on the table, a few on my radar. It's only Wednesday, so we have a few more trading days left, and we'll see if we can clean up the way the week has gone and maybe end in the positive. If not, you guys know we've been on a hot streak for about, I've been on a hot streak for like the last 3 months, which is pretty cool. So I know a drawdown's coming. Hopefully not as big as a drawdown I had to start the year, but it is expected. It is the summertime, which is when my drawdowns usually come. So as always, the goal is to manage that drawdown, right? Donate a little bit of money back to the market, but not so much that it messes up my money management or really causes any type of dent. Just a small pullback so we can extend again once the fall comes. So that's today's trading blog. As always, guys, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you're new and you like it. Make sure you go back and watch the previous 74 plus episodes. There's more like 100 episodes, but 74 since we started naming it. And of course, feel free to share it. Please share it. I'm trying to reach 100,000 subscribers one day. And little actions like hitting that like button and sharing this video push me a little bit closer to that goal each and every day. So I'll see you guys next time around. Until then, plan your trade your plan. Have a good one. All right, traders. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, please show us by hitting that like button and subscribing by clicking the button right below. If you're looking for more educational content, feel free to head over to our tradeempowered.com website, or also take a look and you'll see more videos available for you. Have a good one.